Welcome to the High Stakes High Ground. Today, we're dissecting OHB SE's 2025, a year where this German satellite powerhouse stopped being a scrappy challenger and started acting like a space prime. Think of this as the corporate version of Interstellar. Plenty of ambition, massive gravity, and some very complex math. We're looking at how they've harnessed European space sovereignty to fuel a billion-dollar engine. It's professional, it's powerful, and it's slightly more complicated than your last Kerbal Space Program mission. Let's talk gravity. OHB just pulled in $1.41 billion in revenue. That's enough to buy every single person in San Francisco a high-end designer spacesuit. A 21% year-on-year jump isn't just growth, it's a vertical takeoff. But the real oxygen tank here is the $3.6 billion backlog. That's nearly 3 years of guaranteed work. In the volatile world of space tech, that kind of visibility is as rare as finding water on Mars. They aren't just building satellites, they're building a fortress of prepaid orders. Why is OHB winning? 2 words: strategic autonomy. Europe is tired of relying on foreign, space Uber services, and Germany is leading the bill with a $5.7 billion ESA contribution. This creates a geo-return moat, a system where the money spent on space must flow back to local heroes like OHB. It's essentially a government-mandated loyalty program for rocket scientists. If you control the satellites, you control the data. If you control the data, you control the continent. Now, let's look at the dark side of the moon, the margin trap. While revenue is soaring like a Falcon 9, the EBIT margins are feeling the atmospheric drag at 5.9%. In plain English, they are selling a lot of pizzas, but the cost of the oven is eating the pepperoni. Space Systems is the breadwinner, but Digital Services is still in the expensive hobby phase. Growing the top line is easy. Keeping the profit from evaporating in the vacuum of R&D is where the real genius lies. Here's the $740 million elephant in the room: contract assets. This represents revenue OHB has recognized but hasn't actually invoiced yet. It accounts for 42% of their total assets. Imagine telling your landlord you digitally recognize the rent but haven't actually sent the check. That's the stress test here. They are heavily reliant on customer prepayments to bridge the gap. It's a high-wire balancing act between engineering milestones and cold, hard cash flow. So here is the trillion-dollar question: can a mid-cap European integrator survive the NewSpace disruption? We're talking about a world where SpaceX is launching rockets like they're flipping burgers. Is OHB's traditional, meticulous engineering enough to stay relevant, or are they about to be disrupted into orbit? Let's look at their counter-offensive. The answer is a resounding yes, and the proof is Lisa. This isn't just a mission, it's a $950 million statement of prime status. For the first time, ESA has handed the keys to an L-class flagship mission to OHB as the lead. They are now officially sitting at the adults' table with Airbus and Thales. Lisa will hunt for gravitational waves. It's the most sensitive ears humanity has ever built, and OHB is the one holding the stethoscope. The strategy is a triple-engine setup. Space Systems is the heavy lifter. Galileo and Copernicus are the flagship brands. Access to space, building Ariane 6, is the steady heartbeat of the factory. And digital? That's the high-margin frontier, where they sell data and cybersecurity. It's a diversified portfolio designed to ensure that even if one engine stalls, the corporate jet stays in the air. Look at this pie chart. Space Systems isn't just a slice, it's the whole meal, accounting for 76% of revenue and over 80% of profit. Digital and access to space are currently the side dishes. For OHB to truly scale, they need to turn those side dishes into full-course revenue streams. Right now, they are a satellite company with a few interesting side quests. Tech-wise, they are playing the multi-orbit game, from small GEO in high orbit to smart MEO for navigation, and LEO-COM for the low-orbit constellations. It's about having a standardized bus for every neighborhood in space. Think of it as Volkswagen's platform strategy, but for things that move at 17,000 miles per hour. This standardization is the only way to beat the NewSpace price war. Location is destiny. From the integration halls in Bremen to the optical labs in Milan and the launch pads in French Guiana, OHB is woven into the fabric of European industry. They aren't just a German company, they are a pan-European infrastructure play. This footprint is their political armor. It makes them too European to fail in the eyes of the ESA. The flight path for 2026? Targeting $1.58 billion. The goal isn't just more revenue, it's better margins. They are aiming for an 8% EBIT margin by leveraging the Ariane 6 production ramp-up. It's like shifting from first gear to fourth on a long stretch of highway. With 40% of the backlog already scheduled for recognition next year, the fuel is already in the tank. Behind the scenes, the governance is a masterclass in stability. You have the Fuchs family holding the steering wheel with 65% control, ensuring they don't get distracted by quarterly hysteria. And you have KKR, the private equity giants, providing the nitro boost of capital. It's a quote, patience meets power alliance that protects them from hostile takeovers while funding the future. So what's the verdict? OHB SE is no longer a speculative bet on the stars. It is a vital, cash-generating component of European sovereignty. As the world fragments, owning the infrastructure of the final frontier isn't just a business, it's a geopolitical necessity. In a world of volatility, OHB is a strategic buy that successfully navigated the transition to the big leagues. That's our deep dive into the 2025 orbit of OHB SE. If you want the full data set or our proprietary market research on the global space economy, drop us a line at sales@HDINresearch.com or click the link in the description. Don't forget to comment with your take. Is the future of space commercial or institutional? Subscribe for more MBB-level insights on the industries that actually move the world. Follow us at HDIN230. See you in the next orbit.